Read the disclaimer 13 and up. Hello everyone, and let's talk about Beyblade X. Over the past few days, we have been getting updates after updates on Beyblade X, and it's gonna get really interesting because of the fact that they announced the new crossover project. Now, this project is essentially where they are porting, kind of in a way, I don't know if I'm saying the word porting, but they're bringing back the bays of past into the Beyblade X system with a little bit of a twist to them, obviously, and it's really exciting, and the implications for the future are huge, which we are going to cover. I want to first take a focus I want to mention our store, mallofbays.com. It is an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless. We have 20% off for the entire month of June on everything except for Beyblade X. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get a Crazier spiral, if you want to reserve it, look at that last one. We got some other stuff. I really appreciate all the support on the pre-orders, greatly appreciated. Plus, you have the discounted stuff of the old Beyblade Burst stuff. It keeps the channel going. So now, for the first bay that they chose, it is Crazier Spiral 380 Taper. So the one thing I really do love is that this has, like, if you even remember the original Burst one that they did, the Burst remake, the packaging, all that stuff, this one has so much love and detail. Like, this actually looks like the OG box from the numbering, the BX00, to like the entire design of it. And I really love their approach to this, where it really feels like so much love and care was put into this remake, and visually it is very nice to look at. I feel like the transition between the Beyblade X sort of design and the original design, they managed to make it work seamlessly, where it looks really good. So we get some other stuff here, like a very nice side profile shot of Crazier. And keep in mind, most of it is metal. I'll say specifically what is and what isn't in a moment. But like, damn man, looking at this, because I've watched now the original Bakuten shoot Beyblade, so like I really do have different feelings for this now. I really do love the work and care they put into this. Also, it was a very smart move for what they did for the plastic and the metal. I think the blending was very smart how they did it. Okay, so this is basically how it works. The outer part of Crazier, those big metal blades on the outer part, is metal. The weight disc is metal. The only thing that isn't is obviously the bottom part and the inner part of the Crazier. That doesn't really matter too much, since for the attack ring, the main contact points are going to be there on part of the attack ring and part of the weight disc, so I'm not really like too upset or anything when I'm seeing this, like, oh, because it's plastic in the middle. It's been, no. It was a smart choice. Plus, also, if the whole thing was metal, that probably would be a little bit too much. I imagine the weight would probably be insane for it. Yeah, but you can see here they do a nice side-by-side between the two of them. I like it quite a bit. I do not like too much the bleeding of the sticker there in the middle, because you can tell that it's kind of meshing with the blue there. Also interesting is that if you actually look on the side profile here, which I was noticing, you kind of see a little bit of it kind of like sloped on there on the edge of kind of where that the head area and the contact point area is. So it's very interesting kind of that. Honestly, I actually am pretty excited. I actually think Crazier Spiral could probably be actually good day one. Like the Burst remakes, like, and not to rag on Burst, but the issue with the original Burst ones is with how the system is for bursting. It does not work for a lot of shapes and stuff from the past. I feel like with how Beyblade X designed it and even some of the modifications, I do feel personally that this seems like it was a smart way to design it. It seems promising. It also seems maybe there's some benefits to actually having it in the Beyblade X system, so I'm very happy in that regard. So obviously the only thing it does not feature, which you can say it's a con or whatever, is just obviously it had like the original gimmick on the Crazier S, but obviously with this one, they just went with taper. I said the Burst disc name. This kind of makes sense to me. I mean, this is kind of like common that they'll just pick whatever's the closest part possible to it, so I'm not really like too upset. Oh, there's no gimmick, whatever. I feel like it's fine, because I feel like with how Beyblade X system is, I don't feel some things are necessary that we had in the past. I feel like this is okay for me. It's okay. So the next part here is where they're mentioning taper. So obviously this is a balance type. Now they show that off is basically just showing, hey, this has endurance and it has attack properties towards it. So you kind of see it just going around there. But moving on from there, the battle portion I actually like quite a bit. So they set this up against Health Scythe, so it's Dronzer versus Health Scythe. It feels so crazy to kind of see the two of them. Like the shape and the width looks pretty close actually to like your normal Beyblade X bay. Plus too, I'm just imagining, because these bays are actually supposed to be kind of like the original Metal Fight bay size, so I just feel happy, man, looking at this. So as they go through the battle portion, we kind of see Dronzer going kind of nuts on here. I think there's one where Health Scythe gets the points, and they kind of go crazy on the KO stuff. Like, if you look at the stuff here, you're gonna notice, okay, if we go back here, okay, the over finish that it just got there, look at the hits. It goes crazy, boom in the pocket, so that's really, really nice. Then after Health Scythe gets his revenge here with also an over finish. And after you see that Dronzer Spiral, look, it kills it. Look at the speed of this thing. It blitzes through it and it gets that finish. Like, honestly, seeing the way that it kills it at the end is like sick, it's sick. But aside from that, like the performance to me seems interesting. I don't know how much it's gonna be tearing above. I do feel, at least with how the Beyblade 6, it's really cool to see how the bays kind of operate and move. And I think with the Beyblade X system, the one big benefit is that I feel like using like the extreme finish that you can get, I feel like that can help with a lot of stuff. So I actually do think it's more likely that these remakes are going to be a lot viable in Beyblade X for how they designed the system than they ever would be originally with Burst, because Burst did not do that good of a job for their design. The next thing I want to talk about is the idea that, because it is a crossover project, I did ask myself, like, you know, how else are they going to do it? Because if you're trying to really think about it, eventually, they probably are going to do Burst, which still feels weird to say, and Metal Fight. I obviously prefer if they just do plastics and they do Metal Fight, but if they have to do Burst, do Burst. So I did try to Photoshop kind of this kind of concept design that I had for it, which, you know, I think it did all right. So this is an example of Storm Pegasus I tried to do, because obviously, too, they're not going to do the original 3-eyed wheel Pegasus, but if they did, I would be very happy. I prefer... Actually, you know what's funny? For both of these cases, I do in fact actually prefer the original shape, the original manga ones, than I do actually the sequel ones, but whatever, Pegasus, right? The only thing I'm trying to find issue with is how they're going to translate the parts of like the hybrid wheel stickers there that they would normally do. And obviously too, this is an edited image. It'll be in the thumbnail saying edited image, so don't you worry. You know, Metal Fight's at least not too hard to do that transition. Where it gets a little bit difficult once you hit Burst, because like, I tried to do Valkyrie, man. Like, what are they gonna put in the middle? What are they gonna put in the middle? It's like, do they put a giant V there? And the Photoshop's not the best, but also the burst designs just don't work. That's why I said I don't even want them to waste time trying to design it, because like, you have to shift the head basically. I don't know if there's a realistic way at this time where they could design, if they were to do the burst generation Beyblade X, where it could look right, because a lot of the designs I just don't think mesh well for Beyblade X. At least quite a few of them I don't think can transition too well, but aside from that, I feel like we kind of covered most of it. Overall, I gotta say, for me personally, I am very, very excited for this. I feel like Beyblade X is doing such a smart thing with doing it at the start for the road to 25th, for the eventual 25th anniversary. The things I wanted to end off with, which I kind of did a community post, but I don't think too many people read it properly. What was the idea of this? We have two options, and I want you in the comments to tell me what option would you prefer, or what option you think is more likely. Do you think A, they'll go through generation sets? So let's say they do like 4 of the Dracil S, Trigger S, Dragoon S, then after Metal Fights, 1, 2, 3, 4, Burst, 1, 2, 3, 4, then Plastics, 1, 2, 3, 4, then, you know, etc, etc. Or do you think they'll do like a Plastic remake, a Metal Fight remake, and a Burst remake where it's one after the other and it's not consecutive generations? I feel like yeah, if they were to do this generation, the next generation, the next generation, they start from the beginning, that'd be a lot more interesting than, let's say, just doing consecutive, this is the first generation 4, Metal Fight 4, then 4, etc. But that's kind of where we're going to be ending off the video. Anyways, that's where we're going to be ending off the video. Pretty excited. Can't wait to review this after July 15th, whenever that Monday is after that weekend. 17, 18, whenever we manage to get it. And that'll be it for now. So, thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic day and bye.